Okay, so yes, you're seeing Miya. So this is again a guest star video because this video was one of the ones that was corrupted. And yes, she's dressed a little bit differently. She's got, that will be covered when we get into the video. I actually did the video, the gameplay video before I did the introduction video this time by accident, so you're not going to see me hit start. Um, but yeah, Mia's equipment has changed a little bit. As a result, her strength has gone down. Some of her stats have gone down, some have gone up. But overall, I think she's got better survivability. She's still using the same axe and the same shield and the same kudos. But all that will be covered. Anyway, talk to you later. Hello. So this is exactly the point in the game where Whaley left off after getting through the first room, which almost killed Miya several times because I did it in probably the stupidest way possible and defeated all the pillars before I defeated any of the walking statues. So I had to deal with 4 walking statues at the same time, and also hadn't cleared any of the priests, so I had to deal with them. But she didn't die. There has been some changes. She has gone back to the robust loop with the essence of Hecate's Crescent, and that's because without it she becomes unable to use a lot of things. She did get Ramsey's coil, so she now has a second piece of Ramsey's gear. She got this. It's not Ramsey's gear, it's called the White Crown. But here's the thing. She picked up 2 of them. Let's see if this one's any better. A little bit less energy, a little bit more elemental resistance, a little bit better energy regeneration. Same armor. I'll go ahead and keep the one I have. It's little enough difference. Unfortunately, what she got out of the majestic chest was even more crap than what Whaley got out of it. Crap. More crap. I know it's crap because it doesn't show up unless I hit Z or Alt. So I'm going to go back to town and sell, and then we're going to go do the Fayum Passage. No, we don't want to go to Giza. Giza's right outside. You know, actually, however, not a bad idea. We're going to be doing the Fayum Passage. Whoa! How did you escape? Oh, let's look at her stats now. You can see her strength is a lot lower. Her intelligence has gone up. And her dexterity's up. She's pretty even down the middle. Her damage per second's pretty respectable. And we're going to reopen the gate here. The portal. And go to Memphis, where all the stores are. In Greece, all the portals are next to stores. The rest of the sections, that's not always the case. Okay, let us go sell some of your less useful things. So, the Bloodstone, which was the only blue item she had, which she hadn't found, has been put into the transfer section. As is this...
I can hold that for you!
The transfer section is again filled to the gills, so I'm going to take some out. I'm going to need to go to another player and character and take some of this stuff out. Oh, I can use this now. I doubt it would be any better. Let's see. Nope. Okay. What's this? Touch of the Fool. Yeah, that's not going to be any use. Wraith Guard. Scroll of an Arrows. Scroll of an Arrows would be more... Oh, Thorny Bracers is something else she found. These I can't use, which means they aren't things she put in. No, I'm not going to put that in there. I'm going to put that in there. Anything else? Oh, yes, I have another, this thing, which turns out to be not as... If I use it, oh, I can actually use stuff with it now. Does damage goes up. Okay, so let me see here. What does this give me? Elemental resistance and dexterity and offensive ability. Plus 6% offensive ability. And a lot of defensive ability. I think I'll keep with the Mikros. Slightly less, significantly less damage per second, but I think overall it is better. Okay, now the rest of the
Your goods are safe with me.
I really shouldn't be showing you selling when on these because, but
I'm sorry, I don't haggle. Not these days.
A large chunk of what Ueli did on this video was, I think, selling, most likely. I can't actually watch it. This is one of the ones that is actually corrupted, even on my copy. But I could go over and give Emotep the Hand of Balance, but I didn't do that with Ueli, so I won't do that here either. Okay. I know having 100 of each is way overkill, but I get into cases where there's a boss that I'm really not well suited for, and I end up using a lot.
Greetings!
So rather than have a unpleasant surprise, I like to have way more than I need. But I use them like candy. Oh, I can use Grace. Too bad almost all my equipment is blue. These things are useless to me. I'm curious. Why would it happen if I put you in? Strength would go up, intelligence would go up, dexterity would go down. What does Thresher have? Health and energy. Health goes up a little, energy goes up a little. I think I'll keep it. I'll keep the Mikros for now. There we go.
Safe travels!
So Ueli's going to turn in the Hand of Chaos and the Hand of Balance and the Eye of Chaos at the same time. So I won't have her do that right now. I'll just do the Fayum passage. Here it is. It's got a lot of bugs in it. Oh, bugs are such substandard opponents. They don't really make much of a challenge. They're rather annoying. Yes, oh well, these are significantly more interesting. Very fast, very interesting opponents. But the slugs are just rather disgusting. Ooh, nice hang time there. Hang time. I don't think it came down. I think it's blatted against the wall. Indeed. Wonderful. You have an interesting idea of what is wonderful. If this were the modern setting, if this were a modern or 1920s or something, I'd probably be in a pit helmet in safaris. In a modern setting, I'd probably be taking photos because, you know, endangered animals. And I'm a hero, not a villain. they pop out of the ground, or were they just really hard to see? It's hard to say. Interesting surprise either way. Nothing over here. It occurs to me that I did not start this guest star video of Miya in the intro thing. I'll probably take a separate video splicing out and oh, okay. That was much shorter than I expected it to be. Must have been a lot of. Now, see what those buzzards did right there? The disease vultures. Consider that with the carrion crows in the Greek section. Only them exploding in feathers like the crows do. And that is what low-level Dream Warrior is like. It's just, whoa, look, everything dies. I monstrously overate enhanced this thing, so everything dies. This might be a very short video. I wonder if I hadn't finished out Giza yet before going into the Sphinx.
Good to meet you. I'm glad to see a new face. Yes, it is safe here in Fayum, but it's lifeless. It's a prison. It takes 10 armed men to reach Memphis. Did you hear the news? The Temple of Osiris was attacked last night. Its walls and pillars toppled. To think that there are monsters as powerful as that. The priests say they know all sorts of magic. I'd like to see them use a spell to get rid of these monsters.
Yes, they did. It's called Higher Adventurer. And excuse me, is that floating eye harassing my relative over there?
Before monsters came, caravans were always coming and going. Our market was filled with the noise and bustle of trading, haggling, and friendly banter. Now, all is quiet and dismal.
Oh yes, sorry about Gazey. Gazey senses fear. There's lots of fear around, and Gazey is a nightmare. So Gazey is very, very twitchy.
You could say that as long as the city walls stand, we will get by.
And what are you going to do about the eye monster? Oh, Gazey won't hurt you.
Ah, I can remember those days. When the winds blew in off the desert, and in the market the smell of baked bread and roasted goat. Ah, I can remember.
You're out of things. I might end up talking to more people than Whaley did. I don't know. She got her timer cut her off sometime in the middle of this. I think I talked to this.
My plans don't involve going back out into that desert. Not after my caravan was attacked. I lost everything. I was bound this way with a full caravan when Doom Raiders attacked. I managed to get away, but they got everything else. Gold, weapons, and supplies. No, I don't want my goods back. I want to forget about the whole affair. I was ambushed along the road. Of course, they probably dragged the caravan to some cave or camp. It's safe enough here. Plenty of water, no monsters. Why leave? I'm staying here. No more traveling life for me as long as the monsters are out there.
Is that a floating eye? Yes, it's a manifestation of my nightmares. I made it to help me fight things.
Forget the caravan. What I want is revenge on those monsters. Forget the caravan.
Greetings, traveler! We haven't seen many new faces here lately. I don't know about any ancient artifacts. The only ancient thing around here is the desert. There is the Temple of Osiris, just outside the walls here. Be warned, it was attacked last night by monsters. No, now hold a minute. I have heard of another temple, ancient from the days of the first pharaohs. It was built into a cliff far off in the desert, but it is only a legend. No one has seen it. It might not exist.
Okay, so that is important.
That old temple, I'm sure it is just a rumor, a myth. But if it did exist, it must be far off, deep in the desert. Fayum, a great oasis. Around it gather people, merchants, camels, then shops, walls, caravans. Out here in the desert, water is life. Water is gold. I heard the Temple of Osiris was attacked, but I did not see it with my own eyes. I do not know how much damage the monsters did to the Temple of Osiris, but you'll find it just outside the town. No one knows where to find this fabled desert temple, or even what it was called. If it exists, I do not know how much damage the monsters did to the Temple of Osiris.
Okay, you're out of things to say. Oh, look. This guy is called a scamp. He looks a little bit old to be a scamp.
Once I went into the desert. I wandered far, far into the desert. Suddenly, there were stairs in the sand. I went down, and there were chests and chests of treasure. I couldn't believe my eyes. I reached for the treasure, and suddenly beasts charged at me from the shadows. I got out of there and fast. I'd take my hide over some gold and jewels any day. I'd take my hide over some gold and jewels any day.
And yet, you will be quite upset when we claim the treasure.
Weapons, armor, potions, bows, and staves. What would be your choosing?
Things to sell. Okay.
Goodbye.
I know for a fact that I did not come up to this area of Fayum until the next video. And, one of the videos that is good. Storyteller.
Once there were two lands, the kingdom of the Upper Nile and the kingdom of the Lower. It was at this time that Horus ruled the Upper Egypt, and the wicked Set ruled along the Lower Nile. When they made war and fought, Set gouged Horus in the eye, and Horus cut off half Set's virility. Horus emerged victorious, and he was called Horus the Great. Set was exiled to the desert. The desert was dry and infertile because of Set's wound, and still the light of the moon, which is Horus's left eye, is pale compared to the light of the sun, which is his right.
And could you control your floating eye monster, please? It is distracting me from my story.
Now the first pharaoh of the two kingdoms was called Menes. He was the human, and he represented Horus. That's, it's complicated here. Horus was the first, and among mortals, he was Menes. And it was he who first wore the two crowns together, the symbol of the pharaoh. Now the first pharaoh of the two kingdoms was called Menes.
You have nothing else. So this is about where we left. I've seen the beginning of the next video, and the next video you're going to have Whaley walking up to this teleport portal, which I will, and she'll talk to this guy, which I'll go ahead and do. So you'll hear this twice. You'll hear this twice.
It's true, the caravans have stopped coming. A Doom Raider chieftain named Isnu leads his tribe against all who travel the desert roads.
And that's about where I leave. I'm going to go ahead and cut off this and exit and pull up the intro video. Okay, talk to you in a little bit.